Today we're diving into the fascinating world of Italian swords, weapons that shaped history across one of Europe's most influential regions. Italian swords are edged weapons used throughout the borders of modern-day Italy. Thanks to Italy's geographical location and historical importance, countless swords originated here, while outside influences also left their mark on Italian bladesmithing. In this video, we'll explore all the major swords used and produced in Italy. By the end, you'll understand their uses and the fascinating history behind each one. So stick around and don't forget to subscribe for more historical weapon content. Ancient Roman swords, the gladius. Let's begin with the most iconic sword of ancient Rome, the gladius. This straight sword brought countless victories to the Roman Republic and Empire. While it traces its origins back to Celtic or Iberian peoples, the Romans perfected it and made it their signature weapon. The gladius was strategically used by Roman infantry in tactical attacks, always paired with a large shield and throwing spear. It featured a straight, double-edged blade with a small round guard and a round pommel. Most versions measured around 27 inches long and weighed just 1.5 pounds, perfectly balanced for combat. The spada. As Rome's military evolved, so did its weapons. The spada was a longer sword used by cavalry and heavy infantry alongside the gladius. Eventually, it replaced the gladius entirely and even carried into the medieval era. Whether it evolved from the gladius or from longer Celtic swords remains debated, but one thing's certain: it was a devastating slashing and thrusting weapon. With a handle long enough for one- or two-handed use, the spada measured 33 inches and weighed 2 pounds. It became the foundation for many European swords that followed. Medieval Italian swords. The Italian arming sword. Moving into the medieval period, we find the Italian arming sword. Originally influenced by Viking designs, this weapon became popular across all of Europe, and Italy developed its own distinctive version. Italian swordsmen used the arming sword primarily as a one-handed weapon, paired with a shield or buckler. Early versions featured the typical crucifix guard, but later Italian craftsmen created more intricate, ornate guards that became their signature style. At 35 inches long and weighing 2.2 pounds, it was a versatile and reliable weapon. The Italian longsword. Like the rest of Europe, Italy embraced the trend toward larger two-handed swords during the late medieval period. Italian longswords fit perfectly within European sword traditions, but they had one distinctive feature: they emphasized thrusting techniques. This emphasis came from the teachings of Fiore, a renowned Italian martial arts master and fencing instructor. The Italian longsword measured 50 inches long, weighed 3.3 pounds, and featured a straight, double-edged blade with a fuller and sometimes a ricasso. It was a weapon designed for precision and control. The spadone. Now we reach one of Italy's most impressive creations, the spadone, the true Italian greatsword. This massive two-handed weapon emerged at the end of the 15th century, primarily designed to break infantry formations on the battlefield. According to Giacomo di Grassi, a 16th-century Italian swordmaster, the spadone's enormous length allowed a single warrior to defend against multiple enemies simultaneously. Some versions featured a plain blade, while others had a ricasso, a blunted section near the dard for better grip control. The spadone stretched 65 inches long and weighed over 5 pounds. It was a weapon of pure power and intimidation. By the way, if you're enjoying learning about these incredible historical weapons, please hit that subscribe button. We upload new content about epic and rare swords, so you won't want to miss it. Thanks for the support.
Specialized medieval weapons. The stiletto. Not all Italian swords were designed for open battlefield combat. The stiletto was a short sword or long dagger that became popular during the late Middle Ages when plate armor dominated warfare. This weapon had a specific, brutal purpose: mercy killing. When armored knights fell in battle, the stiletto's razor-sharp, needle-like blade could pierce through any suit of armor to reach the flesh beneath. At just 15 inches long and weighing less than a pound, it was a specialized tool of war. Grim? Yes. Effective? Absolutely. The hanger and hunting swords. The hanger and hunting swords originated in Western Europe but found particular favor in Italy. Initially used for warfare and hunting, these weapons gradually transformed into something different: status symbols. By the Renaissance, Italian nobles carried these swords as part of their gentleman's outfit. They became highly decorated, gilded pieces of art. Many weren't even sharpened for actual use. They were purely decorative, showcasing wealth and refinement rather than martial prowess. Renaissance masterpieces. The Cinque Dea. The Renaissance brought a revolution in Italian sword design, and no weapon better represents this than the Cinque Dea. This short sword was used by both civilians and nobles, invented in northern Italy during the 15th and 16th centuries. The Cinque Dea's broad, triangular blade served as a canvas for Italian Renaissance artists. These swords featured fullers, sharp tips, and elaborate decorative elements. At 22 inches long and weighing just 1.4 pounds, it was as much a work of art as a weapon. The Cinque Dea represents the perfect blend of function and beauty. The Schiavone. The Schiavone is a fascinating sword with a name that literally means Slavonic. This nimble broadsword is strongly associated with the Venetians, particularly the Dalmatian forces who served the Venetian Republic. The Schiavone featured a distinctive basket hilt, a protective guard shaped like a basket, and a cat-shaped pommel. At 35 inches long and weighing 2.4 pounds, it was a practical weapon for naval and mercenary forces. The basket hilt provided excellent hand protection, making it ideal for the close-quarters combat common in Venice's maritime conflicts. Early modern Italian swords. The side sword. As we move into the early modern era, we encountered the side sword, known in Italian as the spada da lato. This weapon emerged in the latter half of the 16th century as an improved development of the medieval arming sword. The side sword was the direct ancestor of the famous rapier and became closely associated with dueling and the Italian martial arts school of Dardi. Its straight, double-edged blade with a sharp, pointy tip and ricasso made it perfect for thrusting techniques. At 35 inches long and weighing 2 pounds, it represented the transition from medieval to early modern swordplay. The Italian saber. As saber culture spread from Eastern Europe, particularly from Poland and Hungary, Italy embraced this curved blade design. The Italian saber, or sciabola, gradually replaced traditional longswords and broadswords from the 17th century onward. The curved, single-edged blade made it perfect for cavalry charges. Eventually, the Italian saber became the standard sidearm for both infantry and non-commissioned officers. At 31 inches long and weighing 2 pounds, it was lighter and faster than the weapons it replaced. The dueling Italian saber. Italy's reputation for martial arts and fencing reached its peak in the 19th century, with masters like Giuseppe Radelli revolutionizing sword technique. The dueling Italian saber emerged from this tradition, a specialized weapon for sport and honor, not battlefield killing. The saber featured a straight, slightly curved blade designed specifically for fencing rather than combat. It was lighter, more flexible, and safer than its military counterpart. At 35 inches long and weighing just 1.1 pounds, it was an instrument of skill and precision. Specialized and hybrid weapons. The main gauche, or left-hand dagger, represents another Italian innovation. While this weapon fell out of use across most of Europe during the 17th century, Italy and Spain kept the tradition alive and evolved it. The main gauche featured a broad, knuckle-shielded guard and quillions designed to repel cutting blows. It was used alongside a rapier for sophisticated fencing techniques. At 21 inches long and weighing 1.1 pounds, it required significant skill to master, but offered excellent defensive capabilities. Hybrid swords. Finally, we reached some of Italy's most unusual creations. Hybrid swords. During the Renaissance, Italian craftsmen experimented with bizarre combinations. Swords with shield blades, weapons with sword catchers, metal gauntlets with spikes, and even short swords with gun barrels attached. Most of these hybrid weapons served no practical purpose. They were created for high nobility to show off their wealth and power. They represent the creativity and sometimes the excess of the Renaissance, weapons designed more for spectacle than for actual combat. The history and legacy of Italian swords. Italy's central location in the ancient world, surrounded by North Africa, Europe, and the Middle East, made it susceptible to outside influences. German and French designs came from the north, Spanish influences from the west, and Arabic, African, Turkish, and Asian influences arrived from the south and east. Yet, Italian swordcraft didn't just receive influence, it gave it. Italian swords fall within the European sword category, but they developed distinctive characteristics that influenced surrounding regions. From the short, one-handed gladius to the massive two-handed spadone, Italian blades evolved to meet changing warfare needs. Italian craftsmen didn't just copy foreign designs, they improved them, decorated them, and made them their own. This is why Italian swords remain some of the most respected and studied weapons in history. If you loved learning about these incredible Italian swords and their fascinating history, please subscribe to the channel. Your subscription helps us keep making these videos, so thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel.